Happy Friday, December 30th. It's Chris and Mark with the NWA Exchange Podcast, the only podcast you need to watch to know everything about Bella Vista and beyond. A little then some. T-1 till New Year's Eve. Hope everybody had a great week. Let's get into some stuff. What's going on, homie?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Well, I was out riding the one wheel and I broke my hip. No, I'm just kidding. No. You're like, are we going to go on tonight? No, man. Nope, not happening, man. I broke my hip. I rolled down a ravine. It wasn't good. And no.
You're like, hell no.
I did get out and do 4 miles today, though. It was a pretty good break-in. Did a little bit of banging around on some dirt. Nothing major. Went out to Snowbird, took the kid. He wasn't a fan of the berms yet. You know, he's got some building up to do too. I mean, he hadn't rode in this 7-week period of me being down. And so I wanted to ride. I felt good, you know, on the segments that I did ride. But he's going and stopping and going and stopping. So I couldn't really get any, forward momentum to really push myself a little bit. So I may go out there. I may try to make it out there sometime tomorrow. Just get a little trail segment in. Back up to running 14 mile an hour. Did that on the Greenway today. But feeling pretty comfortable and confident. Just gonna have to build them legs back up and them feet back up and kind of that endurance, man. All that work basically building up to where I can ride 16 to 20 miles and not really feel it. Pretty much gone, bro. So.
Well, that's good. You're back on, man. It's going to take some time.
That's
a good deal.
I've got a carbon fiber insert for my left shoe, which basically prevents my foot from really flexing too far. Because that's what the doctor believed it to have been whenever I broke the foot, was basically hyperextending it while I was trying to run it out. So we'll see. Kind of just building back up, man. I'm happy to be back out there though. For sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Good deal.
So, like we normally do on our podcast format, tell me what's going on this week, buddy.
Well, just a reminder for everybody, Bella Vista City offices are going to be closed Monday, January 2nd. It's weird me saying that. I'm like, it's a whole nother year, man. It's just, I can't believe it's 2000. It's going to be 2023, man. It's just,
no, dude. It's
crazy. Nuts, dude. So, as you know, we got city council meetings coming around the corner here. So the city council work session is going to be 5:30 p.m. Monday, January 9th.
We think.
I think, because it's not on their site. There's no calendar.
Come on,
so
city. You got. I know you ain't been off, all right? Like, whoever running that damn calendar, 2023 is around the corner. Get your stuff together. I know you got a new boss.
I took care of it for you. I covered for you this week. All right. So the 16th, January 16th, the following week is the regular council meeting there. 6:30 p.m. You know where it is. The courthouse, 612 West Lake Boulevard. 6:30. If you want to get there, I would recommend getting there about a half hour early if you want to talk and get your 3 minutes in. So it should be interested to see. What happens at those?
Yeah. Well, and we did get some information, from FOIAs that were filed and all that. So we're reviewing over that. We got some information regarding the whole SDR stuff that we'll talk about a little bit later on the show. But again, the process of when you receive information on a FOIA, basically you're hoping you got what you asked for, but then you have to go and parse through.
Drill down a little more.
We've done that. We've filed FOIAs many times, and we've got the stuff on a CD, and then you got to go through it and you got to start parsing it and figuring out, okay, what is, because the date and timestamps, they're not very accurate. So then you got to go back in emails from so-and-so and emails from this person, and you got to start really painting a picture of the dialogue that was happening.
Right, and a pattern, right?
Yeah, so we started breaking into some of that.
I looked at, like I said to you, is just like there's a lot in there, man. You know what I mean?
And the hope is that we, after the information that we've received, that we can basically paint a timeline with this person from the city said this person from this third party said this is what happened, this is what took place, this is what prompted it, and basically paint an accurate picture based off of the FOIAs, right? That's the hope that we'll be able to do. There is some information that's still lacking though, and that was the reported incidents and stuff. So we'll get into that a little bit later.
And that's the whole reason why,
right?
Why we're here talking about it, right?
Exactly.
So your favorite, man, this one's a good one. Frugal Friday, baby.
Frugal Friday.
Yeah, $10 cost plus. Ad started a few days ago, ends on January 3rd, so there's plenty of time to get out there.
Out man, bonus.
They just continue to outdo themselves.
$4.92 a pound. Man, that looks good, brother.
Yeah, whole and half boneless ribeyes, $4.92 a pound. Bone and chops, man, 5-pound value pack, $1.33 a pound. And just when you thought it was done, 80-20 ground beef, $2.26 a pound, followed up by boneless, skinless chicken breast. Didn't someone in the area have chicken breast for like $1.99 or something like that, or $1.69?
It's pretty expensive, bro. Yeah.
$1.10 a pound.
Somebody was raving about it though, man. The price of the chicken, and I'm like, dude, that sounds kind of high.
Yeah,
it sounds kind of high to me, but
we checked the market on that, and that's why they're able to do that, right? So that's a hell of a deal right there, man.
Yep.
I didn't get out to get those pork butts. I'm bummed out about it. I just had so much
stuff
going on.
I had pork ribs tonight for dinner, man. I put them suckers on the smoker around 1:00, very low temp. Man,
Did you have baby backs?
Well, no. So I couldn't find baby backs, but it's the country style ribs. I think it's like it's all they're individually cut and stuff, and they're like boneless. Got a couple packs of those, man, over at the Harps. I was bummed that I couldn't just buy a rack of ribs, but they turned out good, man. Had extra, freaking froze them up. We'll have some pork rib sandwiches later this weekend, man. But,
awesome.
Yeah, turned out good. Wife's like, man, you need to call Mark and see if he wants some of them. The wife was like, you need to call Mark. That's a lot of meat, man. She's like, I said, you need to call Mark and see if he wants some. I was like, well, we'll freeze it, man. I'll ask him if he wants some, but like, I'm cool with freezing it, man. Like I have a pork sandwich anytime,
I would leave you a boneyard, man. I'd just leave a boneyard for you.
But the offer's open, man. If you want some of these ribs, man, I can crack them open and throw them in a vacuum seal bag for you, and you'd be good.
Oh man, we'll get some out sometime. We'll do some. Yeah. So, all right, buddy. Well, we got the New Year's with all the festivities out there. I just was looking at a couple of festivities out here. We'll mention them, then I'll drop it into our page so people can, if they're interested.
I got a question. Who is Jenna and Tony?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Like they got this big old New Year's bash, which is that those persons that are like on HGTV or something? Is that who
I thought that might have been the one that does the remodels or whatever.
That's what I'm thinking. It might be them. I don't know, man. I don't know who Jenna and Tony are. I mean, can we have some context, please? Not all of us watch HGTV and all this other mainstream BS that gets spewed in front of us to distract us from what's really going on in the world.
Right. Right. So that's going to take place at the Hive over at 200 Northeast A Street. So
that's actually the Hive is the hotel, right? The Signature Hotel.
21C. Yeah. 21C Hotel. Yeah. Okay. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I've had brunch there before.
What's that?
I've had brunch there before in the Hive.
I've been in there a few times. I haven't eaten in there.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It was all right.
Yeah. So the museum has something going on here.
The Zing in the New Year.
December 31st, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Nice.
For the kids. I used to bring the kids out of there. They enjoyed the museum.
Yeah, the kid likes it, man. He likes it. I think they got passes again this year to go there. 2023 New Year's party, glow in the dark party, champagne toast at midnight at Bentley's Beach Bar. And they've got New Year's at Bentley's, New Year's Eve, ringing the new year while staying up past your bedtime. Join us for annual family-friendly daytime New Year's celebration. And I think that's actually happening at Crystal Bridges, it looks like, right?
Yeah. Then we got the New Year's Eve. I think that's Crystal Bridges. Yeah, that's the Crystal Bridges.
Meteor Guitar Gallery. Lots going on in Bentonville. Not very much going on in Bella Vista, though, right?
No.
Yeah. I know Shredders was doing a New Year's Eve thing. They got that that musician that does the looper like type music. He was out there, and I think JJ's had something planned as well.
Yeah, JJ's got a band. They have Third. What was it? Third Eye Blind? Was it? What was it? There's some band there.
Is it Third Eye Blind? Really?
Yeah, it was something like that.
You gonna make me Google that? We'll have to Google that during the break, bro.
Yeah, I remember seeing something that caught my eye.
Or you could just choose to stay
cover
home.
Band.
You could choose to stay home and go up there to the Macadoodles across the state line. Give Missouri your money, or give Bentonville your money. Don't give Belleville. Just kidding. But you can go up there and you can get your whatever your adult beverage of choice, and you can
So I get
sit at home.
I get the hard liquor from Macadoodles because it's cheaper. Then I come down here and get the beer in Bella Vista there at where Casey's is, that corner in the plaza where the donut shop is.
Yeah, the Wine and Spirit, Bella Vista Wine and Spirits. I like shopping there.
Yeah, I go in there because they have a ton of selection of Yuengling. So
yeah, they got that's a good little shop too, man. And I mean that's like, if you want to support like a small business, that's the one to support, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't get through that drive-through, man. I got to go in there. I like the smell. I like to see what else is in there. I might pick up something else in additional. It's hard. I go,
the drive-through feels tight, and I'm the same way. I whip in there and I walk in, man.
Because sometimes I'll go in there and I'll get, it depends. I might see something else, or they might have a different kind of beer or something else there, and I'll change my mind, man.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you.
So,
man.
All right, brother. Well, you want to get into it? Or do you want to
hit a quick break and give a shout out to our non-sponsor Nasty's Float Shop and the One Wheel community. I'm happy to be back on the One Wheels and stuff.
Amen.
Man, it felt good today, man. I mean,
That's good.
It felt good. I mean,
it's good after coming off an accident like that to get back on. It's like a bike, man. You got to get back on that baby and just ride it out. You know.
Yep. I was feeling good, man, and I'm gonna build back up and be ripping them trails soon, brother. Soon.
Good deal.
All right, we'll be right back, y'all.
Okay.
What's your name? Where you from? The French have invaded. Portugal, yes.
AOC, Austin, Texas.
Keep it weird.
Yeah,
Where you from? Where you from?
Yeah.
We are back from that real short break. I always love the one-wheeling stuff, man. I'm biased. Sorry.
Yeah,
Even wearing
I like the video on that. It's pretty cool.
The one-wheeling is not a crime shirt, because the government's coming after the one-wheeling community as well, trying to outlaw our toys that we have so much fun on because, well, some people get hurt because they don't read the freaking manual, two, wear safety gear. So remember, if you're out there doing any type of sporting activity in these trails and stuff, do it safe, use the buddy system, wear proper protective gear, and always ride within your limits.
Absolutely.
So, Twitter files, bro. That's what we have on deck. The Twitter
It just
files.
doesn't stop, man. It's just
the slow drip, man.
Yeah.
The slow drip.
I wonder if he's got enough to cover all next year, man.
Oh my gosh. I think he does. I honestly think he does, dude. The guy, he's making statements about science. He's making statements about well, if the government's telling a private company to suppress people's speech, therefore that is the government suppressing people's free speech, Right.
And I mean, it's just logic, though.
But it's also collusion within the companies, and he's like, you've got basically he's going after mainstream media now as well, right. So it's like, at the end of the day, I appreciate him doing this. The wash, it's all going to come out in the wash. Really, it is. The thing that I just don't see happening is accountability, because Americans have such a short memory.
Yeah, we'll just have to continue to remind them, though.
Yeah. I mean, you should actively be calling your congressman and your senator saying, WTF, man.
Yeah, like I did, and they don't pick up the phone, but that's what they're all about. That's why when you see them out there, when they're jogging, and you just politely remind them that what happened? Why did you vote for that 1.7 trillion omnibus bill?
Yeah, well, there's some news firing up over that too. A lot of the politicians that voted against it, except the 18 Republicans that jumped on the bandwagon, or I'll say the 18 rhinos that jumped on the bandwagon and voted for that. They're calling them out, their own counterparts out, right? And I think that's going to spark some more news, because there is getting ready to be a kind of a turnover in the House, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's our next topic, is basically McCarthy. But anyhow, I think that,
well, they'll start eating their own. This is what's going to happen. Right. They're going to start eating their own, because they're going to be on the hook for stuff.
Oh, and we got a comment here.
People are going to start pointing up stuff. What's that?
Shout out to Facebook for the notification 24 minutes late. Oh yeah, we know. Well, man, I'm telling you, you know what time we come on though. You got to set a Facebook reminder or Siri remind. Yeah, that was Ryan. Ryan, he's like, shout out to Facebook for the notification 24 minutes late. I think you even said that's happening to you as well. It
was happening on a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
I was getting stuff after the lives feeds were over.
Yep, they throttled it.
This is what's happening.
I got a thing for somebody who left a comment, and I actually saw the comment while we were real time, and then it popped up today, like it was a new comment. I'm like, okay, what's the new comment? Because I read that yesterday.
Yeah, I saw the same thing, because I went back there, thought we missed something, and you already answered it.
Right.
Yeah, I saw it too.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. That's the joys of being on the the bottom of the barrel in Facebook moderators. Eyes.
Well, I'm hoping that the legislation, it'll get in place, like what's happened on Twitter will happen through Meta, will happen through Microsoft, will happen through all these.
But here's the thing that bothers me the most is with the censorship and all the stuff that we're seeing that's coming out of Twitter files and all that. And Elon basically saying this is happening on every major platform, whether you realize it or not. We realize it. We're awake about it, right? We see it. We watched it, and we know people that this has happened to. They've gone from 80,000 followers down to 20,000 because, well, their page isn't producing any content, and people are clearing out their lists and stuff.
Right.
At what point do you say, what the heck, man? Because the mainstream media, in my opinion, is rubbish. It really is. I'm going to use a term from our good friends across the pond. Rubbish. How many times can you guys be wrong? How many retractions does it take before I'm like, I'm not I don't care if I get it live breaking today. Like,
yeah, it doesn't matter. Well,
it
once
don't
you
matter,
lie to
man.
people so many times, nobody's going to believe you anymore. So no matter what you produce, they don't care. Like I tune local stations out because it's a propaganda piece.
Don't warm your car up, Mark.
They're a mouthpiece for propaganda. That's all they are. And it was never like that, but they're hacks at best. That's how I look at it.
I mean, I remember, I'm old enough to remember when people took pride in their profession. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they did, like, I think what we should really do is grade media companies off of how many retractions did they have to issue. Right?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Because at the end of the day, man, conspiracy theorists, as they were calling everybody, were actually, people that were just basically skeptical of the narrative because the narrative didn't match up reality, right? The narrative didn't match up science. The narrative didn't match up anything that takes place in reality, right?
Right. Well, we saw this firsthand with the stump dump, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
It was all controlled media. They weren't, the news stations completely ignored it. The only time they took notice is when the governor came out of here, when the senator came out.
For their photo ops.
Boy Boozman came out.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy? The other guy.
Tommy Boy. Tom Cotton.
Yeah, Tommy Cotton.
Yeah.
For his photo op, then he disappeared.
They all showed up for their photo op and then bailed.
Yeah.
I will say this. I know we're hard on them, but dude, look, man, I expect more of my elected leaders. Just like I expect a lot out of our city councilmen and our mayors and our fire chiefs and our police chiefs.
Deliver. Like
I expect excellence, and I'm sorry.
Them both messages, Chris. They didn't return either one of them.
Right.
They're worthless.
I expect better.
They're completely worthless.
But they're too good for us, and they know what's best for us dumb tax-paying peasants. And I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a rough 4 years if you got that mentality walking into a city council or a city position in 2023. Like I said, like the title of this podcast tonight, New Year's, New Gears, man, we've been in granny low for almost a year, bro.
Yeah, we're going to pop that thing into first gear soon.
We get ready to throw it into first, man. We've been idling in granny low. You don't even know. So, we got through that political cycle. We're working on more content. We're working on producing high quality content.
To general questions, Chris. So now you got to apply more pressure on them, man. That's the only thing that works with these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they think they're above.
What's that old song?
The peasants.
What's that old song? It's only just begun.
Hey, you know what? I'm just asking them to do their job and support their citizens and stand behind them. And they turn around. These guys leave to Arkansas and they go out to D.C. and there must be something in the water out there, man. Then they sell us out and they come back like there's no
water
issues
out there. I don't know what it is, but what they say is you don't drink from the swamp, right? You dang sure don't drink from the swamp, bro. And they all been doing it, so. Yep. But that's the thing is I expect better. I expect appropriate action. I expect follow through. If you can't handle it, if you can't do that, man, it's gonna be a rough few years for you. That's all I gotta say. Well,
we'll see Boozman out here in the summer, and he'll make us. He's there for the Memorial Day stuff, and we'll have some conversations.
But they did write a letter to the EPA director. They did write a letter. I'll give them that. They wrote a letter to the EPA director, but I mean, the EPA was even like their machines were shut off at night and stuff whenever it was bad, when it was the worst. So at what point again, it's all boils down to the credibility of the whole bubble at this point. All these agencies, they ain't performing, man. Right. Not the way that it's supposed to, and not with the budgets that they got.
One of them that doesn't answer his answer machine, and the other one has his answer machine filled up. I've called 3 times in 3 days. If someone cleared it, then
call your congressman, call your senators, and let them know you're against this. Well, I can't even let them know, And if I send them an email, well, that ain't doing no good
either.
It
bounces in the spam folder.
I can remember I sent Tommy Boy a message about the stump dump, and it was 8 months later I finally got a response from him. It was like an auto-generated response.
Yeah. I had no respect for those guys. They're talking heads, man. That's all they are.
just stirring the base.
Look, the Curry favor. He's like that. Like I said, he's like the Punxsutawney Phil dude. He comes out when he needs to, and everybody's celebrating. And look at me. Then he's out there smiling with all his weasels out in D.C.
Well, Twitter Files platform suppressed valid information from medical experts about COVID-19. Shocker. All you can topics. We Twitter file report on based on internal Twitter files that Zig reviewed for Free Press. The Twitter Files is a series of reports based on internal Twitter documents released to select journalists by the company's new CEO, Elon Musk. Zig reported on Monday that both the Biden and Trump administrations pressured Twitter and other social media platforms to elevate content that fit their narratives and to suppress information that didn't. At the outset of the pandemic, the Trump administration urged tech companies to combat misinformation about runs on grocery stores, Zwig reported. But Zwig noted there were no runs on grocery stores. It wasn't misinformation, but was instead a true phenomenon the Trump administration did not want to be highlighted. Remember the toilet paper shortage?
Yep.
Jeez, that was a shitty situation. Pun intended.
So the bottom line is the government lied to the people, man. It's right there, and people made decisions based on the information that were provided. It's just so bad and so outlandish. It's unbelievable.
But they went as far as basically removing doctors that had they were the foremost special. Dr. Robert Malone, who basically is a genealogist, basically, right? He builds vaccines and the technology that was used for mRNA. And he was like, I don't agree with this. This is not right. This is dangerous, slippery slope that we're going down. I wasn't intended to do this. And
they targeted him, Chris. They specifically targeted him. Any information. They actually tried to have some of his information removed. Mm-hmm. And they went after everybody that he knew.
Yep. America's frontline doctors. You could. There was a point where if you said ivermectin,
they were going to take their license.
You said ivermectin on social media, your account was suspended, or you got a ban. Right. You weren't even allowed to utter the words, man. Hey, I got worms. I might need some ivermectin. Right? We're sorry. Your tweet violates our terms of service. Hydroxychloroquine was another one that you couldn't use. Right? This is the problem. You can't even have a discussion with anybody regarding the viability of therapeutics that are approved versus something that's not approved. It was approved under emergency use. Now the Pfizer data is coming out, Moderna, all of these, where they didn't even test the efficacy. They didn't even test if this was safe.
So let me ask you a question. The people that went out and got the information that was provided to them and made decisions that ultimately could have proved to be deadly for them, or they've had ongoing issues. Mm-hmm. What happens now?
Well, unfortunately, because
I have friends and family that are going through that right now.
I can
take care of those people.
I'm not an attorney. I'm not licensed for law or anything. This is just me speculating on what I believe the process would be like. Is you signed a document saying, yeah, I'm agreeing to take this experimental shot, and I can't hold anybody liable. And see, that's the problem with it, because on those vaccine, when you got your vaccine, that's one of the purposes of having that card, right? Is you consented to this. Right. Even under duress, you consented
to that based off the information that was provided to you.
Right.
And the pressure, government,
the pressure, the fact that companies and businesses, the federal government was pressuring people to take an experimental shot with no long-term data. It'll be 10 years before they actually have what were the long-term effects of this crap? It really will be.
Well, they wanted to wait 55 years to release that. Why
we release our data on it, right?
Why do you think they would wait till 50 plus years to release that? Asking for a friend.
Because there ain't gonna be nobody left to sue them. To be quite honest, man. I mean, to be quite honest, that's my opinion. But I don't know. Hey, look, man, I hope it works out for the people that took them and they were forced to take them. And, I hope that,
I do too, man.
Dude, they got a solid batch, the whole 9 yards. But to be forced to take something, and, that whole year of COVID, right? People were living in fear. So on top of it, this will help us get back to normal, right? That was also there. Let's get back to normal. And I said it, Mark. I remember telling you this. There is no going back to this is the new normal.
Right.
People have allowed this to become the new normal. Right?
People need to
pray to your God,
and speak out.
Ask your God for direction.
Wrong, man.
This
is wrong in so many ways.
I just said, like I said, pray to God, pray to your God. Ask for direction anytime you're being coerced or told to do something by people that they don't give a crap about you anyway, right? They don't.
Right.
But, again, it goes back to the spirit of discernment, right? And being able to discern and then listen and ask, be humble enough to just get on your knees and ask God for guidance, man. I can't tell you how many times in my life I've done that.
And I don't have any trust in anything anymore. After this, why the hell would I have any trust in anybody? Think about that. I mean, seriously, man. After everything that's happened.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, that's a hard
trust
one,
but verify, man. That's
a hard one, man. That's a hard one because, like, if you had like one of those old timey doctors, and like he's known you since you was a kid, and, and he's like, well, you should get this vaccine, right? Either A, he believed in it, or B, he was just following orders, right? Following recommended guidelines without actually looking at the data himself. And in a lot of cases, all these doctors basically were told to, there was no published data on this. So they couldn't actually look at what the heck, the studies were, right?
Well, there was different doctors doing testing around the world, and they were sharing information. It's just that when it came out and more information was being provided, that some of the doctors came out to disclose that, there was some issues. But then they went and said, hey, listen, shut up or we're going to pull your license. So somebody that is a doctor, you're going to take away their license.
That's very problematic. This whole situation is just, I don't know. What did old Clint Eastwood say in that, was it Heartbreak Ridge? Cluster, sir. Because that's really what it boils down to, man, is this whole situation should have never got. Where were the checks and balances? Where were the guardrails? Where was the authorities? And see, that's the problem, is when the authorities are compromised.
Right.
You have to use discernment. You have to use healthy discernment. You have to have some healthy skepticism of everything in this world today. And that's, I know I harp on it a lot, man, but the end goal of the evil one, man, is to he's a liar, dude.
Yep.
He's a liar. He will take over the world by lies, man.
Yep, for sure. So, well, we beat that one to the ground.
I know we did. I'm sorry,
it's frustrating for me, man, because I see people suffering and struggling, and I'm just beside myself that nobody else is really coming out and saying anything about it, which pisses me off even more. People should be outraged about this.
Well, I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are outraged, but they're like, this is what they call cognitive dissonance or denial at this point. I think we're in the denial phase of this, right? It's like people who work, they're not looking at the data because they're scared of what it's going to show.
Yeah.
They're scared about what this means for themselves. That's what I think is really happening, is people are actively just like, if I don't know about it, then
it's not there.
Then it's not there, right? The boogeyman's not in the closet if you don't look in the closet, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're at, bro.
Yeah, it's.
And if the mainstream media is, was coming out and putting this stuff in, what kind of panic would that do, bro? You know, I mean,
well, they
so
haven't even come out and acknowledged that there was issues with it.
I don't think that they can. I, mean? I don't think that they can because, I mean, just think about what the implications of that, dude.
Right.
So I don't know. All I do is I hope and pray that everybody's okay, and this is something that we can move past. And it's just, I don't know. It's not a place that I want to be, man. You know, I don't know.
No, but I feel for people out there, man. I feel they're betrayed, and someone's got to stand up for them. You know, because the politicians aren't doing jack. You know.
Speaking of politicians, that's a perfect segue into Kevin McCarthy floats concession on allowing conservatives to remove House Speaker. McCarthy's struggling to gain enough votes to be elected Speaker on January 3rd. Shocker, right? Congressional correspondent Chad
McCarthy that took money from the FTX.
Yes, too? It is. It actually is. It's also the same Kevin McCarthy that, well, what did he do? Flashback. Kevin McCarthy plotted with Liz Cheney to get rid of President Trump.
Oh, look at there.
Yeah.
And now he wants to be the Speaker of the House. I mean, this guy, does this guy think
they compelled President Trump for his resignation. And there was leaked audio on this. You guys can go out. National File. This was published, last updated on December 6th. But, you know, here's the beauty of it, right, is the internet is forever, right? And this guy, you know, back in the day, he wanted to, you know, he had thought about running against, what was it, Boehner, stepped down. But this is the quintessential uniparty. I was telling you this earlier, Mark, is 99% of those people in those chambers in the Capitol are corrupt to the core, right? There is no Democrat. They're playing a game. This is all political theater. They know they're all getting rich. And they're going to play this theater, right? But they're also responsible for pushing that pendulum, right? So every election cycle, that pendulum swings left and it swings right, and it depends on current op tempo and the political climate, how hard they're going to push. The left is pushing one way and the right's pushing another way.
Man.
But they're pushing it together,
right?
And that's the problem. These people they don't care about none of us. They're protected, man. They're part of a protected class that George Carlin, rest his soul, he said it the best, man. It's all one big club and none of y'all are in it. That means us.
Very true. Right? Very true.
None of us are in it, man. We are the cattle. We are the sheep. We are the herd. Whatever you want to call it.
It just shows, it's like you said, it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. Majority of these guys are dirty, man, and they can't even cover the tracks. They're just blatantly out there.
Right.
I mean,
but at what point do you realize that you're willingly? I mean, you are basically a financial slave to the government system. You know. Yeah, what happens if you don't pay taxes, Mark?
Yeah, lock me up.
They lock you up, right?
Yep.
Pay taxes, right? We might let you go out and have this. We might not, especially given the lockdown stuff, right? We may or may not let you do this.
Well, it's getting there because everybody else is asleep at the wheel. Don't understand this could happen. It's happening in China now. So we're not far off, right?
Yep.
Don't worry, everybody. It'll be coming to a door to you, eventually, and people will be shocked.
Newsweek article, another one that good read for y'all. GOP young guns are out of ammo. Time for new House leadership. And McCarthy,
that's an understatement.
He ain't got no ammo, man. That's why he's out there begging for votes. I'm sorry, dude. I don't even know who. At this point, man. I've lost faith in all of them, man. Yep. I really have. You know, like I said, there's 1% that are probably sitting in those chambers that actually give one dang about the American people.
Yeah. That's pretty sad, man. But I mean, that's what we're up against these days, So we're gonna hit a little bit on the
let's take a quick break and we'll get the short-term rental stuff pulled up, and then we'll talk about that, and we will call it a show. So be right back, y'all.
What's your name? Where you from? The French have invaded.
Portugal.
Portugal, yes.
AOC, Austin, Texas.
Keep it weird.
Yeah, we.
Where you from? Where you from?
Yeah.
Lying here, so hear me out. So let's run, run, run. Pull me in and take me out. Let's run, run, run around. Hot city haze, cool summer skies. Let's get away and take a drive. Together as we go. No other way I know. Together as we go. No better way I know. Together as we go. Together as we go. Get on in and let's go out. So let's run, run, run. Where we've been don't matter now. Let's run, run, run around. Hot city haze, cool summer skies. Let's get away and take a drive. Together as we go. No other way I know. Together as we go. No better way I know. Together as we go. Together as we go. Together as we go. Together as we go. No other way I know. Together as we go. No better way I know.
And we are back from that short break. Again, Nasty's Float Shop down there at the McKissick Creek Shopping Plaza, right behind Lowe's, man. If you guys are interested in getting out on a one wheel, get out on a one wheel. It's not that bad. I think till the end of the month they have rent one get one, so you can rent for a half a day and get a whole day. They do overnight rentals. They will make sure that you are safe before they send you on your way and give you basically all the instruction and the safety gear that you need to get out on one of these one wheels and give it a shot. Also, they're doing the Dust Bowl is what they're calling it, but it's indoor horse riding arena. They've acquired 2 nights a week. It's over in Springdale. And it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you can learn some of the tricks, the curb nudges, the jumps, the bonks, the whole 9 yards, or just show up and watch it. It's a good time watching it. I've seen some of the video footage. I hope to get out there and put the Y-roll up and get some cameras going, and possibly live stream it one night.
Cool.
So, but yeah, Nasty's Float Shop. Support that local business. It's a veteran-owned small business, and good friend of mine, Rob, great guy. Gives back a lot to the community through Sporting Arkansas Soccer and donations to any organization out there. So great guy to know, and we want to see him succeed. So
Absolutely, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
All right, buddy, let's hit this short-term
last
rentals,
one,
man.
the short-term rental. Are we ready? All right.
Yeah.
So, like we said, we got some FOIAs and started going into the very first portion of the
I
FOIA.
got the
right?
GOP up, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. There we
So
go.
on Tuesday, June 1st, there was an email sent to Taylor Robinson, who works in Community Development Services. Hi, Taylor. Thank you for making the time for our conversation today. As promised, the task is a document. Now, remember, this is June 1st, 2021. well before there was like short-term rentals are ruining our lives, right? Remember, that was 2022, bro. Right.
Right. Yeah. We're almost in 2023 now.
Right. Right. So, hi, Taylor. Thank you for taking the time for our conversation today. As promised, attached is a document providing some insight into who we are and what we do. Looking forward to connecting with you again soon. Best, Mike. Account executive, government service, Granicus. Right? Well, what did Taylor do? Well, she obviously had a phone call. But then she's like, hey, she started forwarding it out. So was this a cold call? That's my question. Did all of this spark from a cold call? Huh? Do what?
I think it was prompted by somebody else.
You think it was prompted by somebody else? Well, regardless,
somebody else in the city.
She forwarded it on to Doug Tapp and Derek Lynn. Mike from Granicus is wanting to talk to us about short-term rental management within city administration, ordinances, enforcement, compliance, etc. Are you interested in talking with him? I think with all the recent Airbnb and STR calls I've been getting lately. Oh, one person's been getting phone calls on these? Was there any documented incidents of those? Because they weren't returned in FOIA. No. Right.
Oh yeah, there was no information whatsoever.
None,
so
right. It'd be worth to hear him out. And so the snowball started out that big, and it got flipped down the mountain, right? And then it started rolling. I can get if there's actually a legitimate problem, but I can tell you this, and some of the information that I was reviewing, I don't have it ready for tonight's podcast, was like, I can tell you what the selling point was, and that was tax collection.
Right. So where is Doug? He was telling us about all these issues and all these problems, and everybody at the church was coming to him. So where are those in the FOIA, Chris? Where are those?
They're not
located?
there. I haven't seen them, man.
Oh, I haven't seen them. I haven't
but
seen them.
I can tell you this, man. There was a sales pitch done, and somebody liked it or bought it hook, line, and sinker, and then forwarded it on to their counterparts, Derek and Doug, at CDS, and then it spiraled into maybe we need to get the mayor in on this. And I guarantee you, the big thing that prompted them all was cha-ching, tax collection. Cha-ching, 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 right? So this is what we're sitting on. We're sitting on a load of information. These are the first two chronological emails I've went through and was able to put chronologically together. And I'm like, well, here it is, man. This was all a sales pitch that they all bought hook, line, and sinker to do what? Exploit the residents of Bella Vista.
Yeah.
For more revenue.
Money. You peasants.
Yes. Suck it up, Buttercup. You gonna pay and you gonna like it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, man.
Come up with some more crap.
Yeah.
Well, what's going to be good here is we're going to break it out. This is like a whole thing, like a
expose.
Yeah. What do you call it?
The life and times of STR in Bella Vista.
We're gonna have a whole board with timelines on it.
Right. Well, that's what. I mean, we're gonna have to use some string theory on this crap, man, to draw the line. But like I said, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna break this down. Like I said, June 1st. The email from Granicus to a CDS person initiated. Taylor is the catalyst that put it into Derek and Doug's lap.
Yeah.
And then it spiraled out to other people in the city. So more to follow on this as we go through these FOIAs at our leisure. You have to remember that we are both gainfully employed. We both have families. We both have lives, hobbies, mini horses. You name it, right? But we will be doing this, man. We have to set some time aside to review these collectively and start painting the timeline and the picture so that people can actually get behind and know what actually took place. But I don't believe that any of this spawned back in June 1st of 2021.
With complaints, no.
With complaints.
No. Well, I mean, Doug's been shooting his mouth off. I've yet to see the information he's provided. He said there's several. Several to me is more than 10, 20. I mean, that's several.
Yep.
Not one.
Well, it makes more sense that, with why the community input doesn't really go anywhere, right? And it's because they've already committed to this. They've already committed to it. Why? Because it's a tax generator. It's a revenue base for them.
Right. Yeah.
Citizens
Well,
be
how else they gonna
damned.
grow it? They can't get any
But still-
businesses in here.
exactly. Well, yeah, especially with the failed leadership that they got.
Take it from the people, man.
You know, so they're going
Right.
to come after the residents, right? Well, I'm telling you,
that's
when
it.
that well dries up, man, all of your property values are at risk at this point, right? Because when
Right.
when we become like we're taxed 15% just for living here,
Yep.
man,
It's over with, man.
yep,
But you get what you get, man. This is what happens. That's why we say you have to get out and vote, man. You have to educate yourself on who's representing you, you know?
yeah. Well, they're all sick of Steve, so you know. Anyhow, new year, new gear. We will probably be popping back on tomorrow night. I think we're going to do some highlights, right, Mark? The best of 2022.
But best in the years,
The
man.
best of 2022. We're going to pull
Hey,
up
we're
some
only
highlights,
on
bro.
February. We got to go back and find out when we started because we're almost at a year, man. Probably another 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, I
Yeah,
bet.
about another month, man. I think we started around
Yep.
like the second week of February, bro. So even
Yeah.
though some podcasts pop up and go along the wayside,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
expanding. So- But yeah, also merch store
Right
will
back
be
at
opening
you,
up on
BJ.
January 1st. Merch shop will be opening up January 1st. If you like some of the shirts that we put out there or just want to support the show, we got everything from coffee mugs to mouse pads to t-shirts, hoodies, hats. Man, I'm sure. And we can't forget the Sloppy Joe mix. I mean the President Biden burger.
We're going to get that stuff out. When they start having the farmer's market, heck, we'll set up there. And we'll
Biden
get our
burger mix,
merch
baby.
out there,
Yeah,
too.
buddy, man. The Sloppy Joe mix.
We'll get the merch.
So-
Yep. We'll get all that stuff out there.
Well, it's been a show. Any last words, brother?
No, that's it. Everybody have a great night. We appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, we hope that you guys have a wonderful New Year's Eve, a safe one, and we will, be on tomorrow night to kind of go through some of our highlight reels, our funny moments. You might not
Yeah, there
find it
was a
funny,
lot, man.
but I think we had a lot of funny moments in 2022, man, since we started.
There's some
the show.
bizarre moments.
Hey, talk to my kids. Why would I want to talk to your kids, man? It's your kid. You talk to him. But anyhow, man, we appreciate the support that we get from y'all. We look forward to continuing to provide a different spin on the content, the different spin on the news. Our opinions, I think, our opinions
Sometimes they might
have
not like
value.
what we say, but we try to tell the truth, Chris. We
And
try
at the end of the
to.
day, we don't got to agree, bro. You know what I mean? Like, look, you got the way that you do things. I think it's all messed up, and I got the way that I do things that make sense. Keep it
I
simple.
know that's how you got to look at it, man. I mean, it's just we're trying to provide content, and you can disseminate it whatever way you want to do it.
Yeah. Well, and if all else fails, man, we'll put the octagon outside of City Hall, and you and Bennett can box it out, and I mean that'll be entertainment value all day long, right? Since he wants to be the primary aggressor in the situation, I think.
Yeah.
Why not, man? I mean, I think we could rally the troops, man, and get some support for a televised version of MMA.
Donate the proceeds, man.
It would be old and unhealthy MMA though.
Come on, man. All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good one. We'll catch you on the flip side. Later.
Together through the storm, whatever weather.